Hey guys, it's Donna here. Today we're going to talk about 5 misunderstandings about sourcing in China. And make sure you stick till the very end because tip number 5 is either going to make or break your business. Number 1 is having a professional email domain for communication with your Chinese suppliers. Tatiana James here has shared her advice. Let's hear what she has to say. 80,000 people has gotten the wrong advice.
But what is important is that you have a professional email. So right now, all you have is a Hotmail email, Tatiana@hotmail.com. That does not sound very professional because any real company, any real brand would have a domain name with a brand name. So you want to get a professional domain name, which means that it's at pets, etc.com or whatever brand name you have, and you can get.
That's completely wrong. Let me tell you why you don't need a professional email domain. Well, first of all, in China, nobody gives a about business domains. Well, excuse my French there. And second of all, nobody uses emails for communicating with your Chinese suppliers. Because China has skipped over the PC-based internet era, now has moved into the mobile-based internet era. So to communicate with your Chinese suppliers, what I recommend is using WeChat, QQ, or just using the chat inside Alibaba. Well, using WeChat, not only you can get the instant translation feature when you send over a voice message, it's going to get translated to whatever the language on the receiving end automatically. Second of all, you can easily send over a video or video chat with your suppliers. So they can easily show you the product, the inside out, what it looks like, and they can show around their factory. In that way, you can see if they're actually a legitimate business. Number 3, you can also easily send money right inside the app. And also, there is a business WeChat account. There are a whole bunch of other business-related features that it has. We will talk about it in a separate video. So get yourself a WeChat account. Not only you get all these features and benefit, you're going to make their life a lot easier. They're going to appreciate you and show them the respect, show them that you understand their culture, understand how they communicate using WeChat. 2, pick a supplier that has gone to a trade show before. 360,000 people has gotten this wrong tip before.
Check to see if your Chinese supplier has been to a trade show. Not all suppliers will have been to trade shows, and that's absolutely okay. In fact, most suppliers probably haven't been to one. But if you can find one that has, that is a big bonus. It indicates they are producing quality products. If their products were poorly produced, they'd be unlikely to bother showing them off at a trade show. And this, of course, is very important because of the fact that you want to be purchasing quality products that won't break, because if they break, you're going to have unhappy customers. Plus, trade shows are also expensive to exhibit at. The fact that they have enough money to attend one indicates their company is financially stable. And of course, this is important because if you find a hot selling item that has just a single manufacturer and that manufacturer goes out of business, well then you have no items to sell. Manufacturing items as cheaply as they are in China means that those companies are working off of small margins. So if they are not managed correctly, then they can risk going bankrupt. So if you are trying to choose between which supplier to work with, if you see that one has been to a trade show, then that would be a legitimate factor for choosing them. So how can you tell if your supplier has been to a trade show? Well, if you found them using Alibaba, it's quite simple. Just come to the company profile. If they have attended any trade shows, the trade show button will appear under additional information.
Well, picking a supplier based on whether they have been to a trade show or not is just completely irrelevant. Well, let's do some basic math here. At the date of publication, it costs around $6,500 to become a supplier on Alibaba.com. That's just the fee for the year. And let's see how much it costs to go to one of the largest trade shows in China. Well, it roughly costs around $3,000. You're going to get a really nice booth at a really decent location. Well, the fee for Alibaba does not include your business registration, does not include any fees to upkeep any certificates that you might have, and does not include any ads you want to do or any other fees. And you have to go to a rigorous authentication and verification process to become a supplier on Alibaba. On the other hand, for the trade shows, all you have to do is register for it and pay for the fees, and there you can go. So finding a supplier that has gone to a trade show before has nothing to do with finding a quality supplier. Besides that, in order for a company to go to one of the trade shows, they have to have English skills or have somebody at the company who speaks a foreign language in order to communicate with potential buyers at the trade show. Well, that's not very common for a manufacturer or for a factory, let's say, to manufacture one of these pillows. Number 2, for the companies to go to these trade shows, their main aim is to attract potential buyers. They're going to be showing a lot of products to attract different buyers. So the more product they have, the more chances they're going to get to attract other potential buyers. Well, that brings me to the next point, which is they are trading companies. Those who attend these trade shows are mostly going to be trading companies. What are trading companies, you might ask? Well, trading companies are middlemen who are known to overcharge for products, and you do want to stay away as far as you can from them. Well, last but not least, here's an insider tip from someone who used to work at Alibaba. For those trade show pictures, well, you can upload as many as you want and any random pictures in your seller backend. So find yourself a nice photo of a trade show from Google or somewhere and upload them in your seller backend. There you go, you've been to a trade show. Well, many people recommend Alibaba.com as this holy grail sourcing platform. It was mentioned here, and it was mentioned here, here, and everywhere. Well, most people mention Alibaba.com and recommend it for their English customer service, for their cheap product quotes, also for their trade assurance features. This might come to a surprise to some of you to learn that suppliers on Alibaba.com are not actually factories themselves. They're either trading companies or they're wholesalers. What you get with wholesalers or trading companies is that you're not going to get the best quotes. As mentioned before, trading companies are known as the middleman who overcharge for their products. They make the cut for the price difference they get between the factory and you. 1688 is the Chinese version of Alibaba.com, but they are mostly factories themselves on this platform. And that's the website that Chinese people would use if they need sourcing done. Because there are mostly factories, you're going to get a better pricing than a trading company. And also, because it's a Chinese platform, whoever goes on there will be speaking Chinese with the locals talking about business. Versus on Alibaba.com, this website is catered to foreign businesses. So your suppliers or these trading companies on Alibaba.com know that you are a foreigner and you have no idea about the local labor costs, the local logistics costs. So because of this gap in the knowledge, they're going to overcharge you. So having said all that, I highly recommend finding yourself a trustworthy Chinese 1688 sourcing agent to help you find a better pricing. The fourth wrong tip is build a relationship with your sales rep. And Tatiana has something else to say about this too.
And that's what you want with your relationship with your supplier, because again, remember, you need them more than they need you. So what can you do to grow this relationship? How can you contribute to your supplier? Maybe you can do something that a lot of people don't do so that you can stand out. Remember that you're not the only person that they're doing business with. They have hundreds or thousands of other relationships, and maybe there's a way that you can stand out and really earn their trust and their respect. So maybe you could send them a card. Christmas time comes along, send them a card. Maybe you could send a gift, or maybe you could make sure you take note of their birthday. Because when you have a supplier, what they do is they give you a specific agent that works with you long term. So for example, with me, I have someone named Catherine, and Catherine has been working with me since day one. The first day that I contacted the supplier, Catherine was the agent who communicated with me, and ever since then, she's the person I communicate when I want to place an order. So I don't communicate with all these different people that work at the manufacturer, I communicate with one person.
Well, building a relationship with the sales representative or the customer service agent isn't necessarily going to get you better pricing, lower quotes, or better service even, because they are not authorized to make certain business decisions that are going to help you. Building a relationship does help, but that is building the relationship with the right person, such as the business owner. Well, how do you build the relationship with the business owner? Because Chinese people are more realistic, you're in here for the business. Well, what you can do is communicate and give them the impression that you are important and they will need you more than you need them. Well, how would you do that? If you are a professional seller on Amazon, let them know that this is your fourth product. You've had successful business on Amazon before. Or if you have a huge following on social media, let them know your Instagram or YouTube account. Let them know that you have a big following. If you're just starting out, well, pretend if you have to, but don't send a handwritten card on their birthday or Christmas, because that's just not something the Chinese people do here themselves. If you really want to send them a card, send them a business card of your recommendation, somebody who you recommended their business to. Number 5, many people think that made in China equals to garbage, low quality products. And the reason behind this is the impression that the political reason behind these news outlets. Or the second reason is that all these sellers who want to get a higher profit margin but would only source low quality products give the consumer this impression that Chinese products is garbage. In actual fact, this is not necessarily the case. Well, China is able to produce products of all quality grades, all the way from lower quality to the highest quality standards. Take Apple, for example. Apple's iPhone, AirPods products, all of the components within the products are made in China, and they're also assembled in China. That's why Apple is able to charge a hefty fee on their products and get a really high profit margin. So I would strongly encourage you to change this mindset. If you don't change this mindset, what you will end up sourcing from China is going to be low quality garbage, and when you sell them online, people either are going to be mad for being charged a hefty fee, or you're going to have a ton of customer service issues, or your profit margin will suffocate. If you are a consumer, it's okay to think that Chinese products are not good, just don't buy them. But if you are a seller and sourcing from China, you have to change this mindset. If you want to source from China or learn more about tips and tricks on sourcing in China, make sure you subscribe to my channel. And check out the links in the description for extra help.